This devotion is for Saturday. Supernatural sound of heaven Saturday. Acts 2 and 2. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house they were sitting. Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Matthew 11:15. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Prayer. Most High God, let your children always have ears to hear your call. I decree I will not miss the sound of heaven, the blowing of the trumpet, to rise in every season. I like that it says, he that hath an ear, let him hear. And also, for the kingdom is at nigh and at hand. And we know because of the world we live in and the things that are going on in the world that is coming is nigh and at hand. Some things that I wrote down, I put, God doesn't whisper, he moves. And we've said while reading these things that God gives confirmation. And I think that's a confirmation of today and him depleting the mortgage. I put, it reminds me that God arrives suddenly, he arrives powerfully, and he arrives unmistakably. So in your life, think about that. Think about God is going to arrive suddenly. He's going to arrive in your situation powerfully, and he's going to arrive in your situation unmistakably. What do I mean by that? It'll be no mistake that it's God. You'll be sure God did that. In that scripture, that was Acts 2 and 2. The women and the men in their room, they weren't striving and they weren't performing. They were present, obedient, and waiting. You say, Devin, what are you saying? I'm saying in this life, you have to be present, you have to be obedient, and you have to be waiting. You guys know what I always say. My chaos to you is my obedience to God. I put, as women, we feel pressure to be strong, to be in control, to prepare. But this verse says, wait with expectancy. God didn't ask them to bring about the wind. It says, suddenly a sound like the blowing of a violent wind. They didn't make the wind. God brought it himself. And the wind filled the entire house. It didn't just fill for the leaders. It didn't just fill for the people who were confident. It filled every corner of that room. So what does that mean? There is no part of your life God is not interested in. Your home, your calling, your dreams, the things you thought about when you were little. There's no part of your life that God isn't concerned with. But know that sometimes his spirit will be a gentle burst